वो दया बरसाएंगे, उसके छींटे बरसाएंगे, और ये बीमारी जिस भयंकर रूप में आई है, ऐसे ही बहुत जल्दी उसका उसका प्रभाव कम हो और पूरा भारत पुनः अपने पैरों पे खड़ा होके आगे बढ़े। हरे कृष्ण।
हरे कृष्ण।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर. We are indeed happy to have with us today Professor Dr. Ravi Kumar Gupta, Director MAIMS. He is a motivator, a great mentor, and keeps high interest in organizing such events, which are a source of knowledge and motivation for everyone around us. Sir, I would request you to kindly address this August gathering.
नमस्कार, हरे कृष्णा जी। आज के हमारे इस कार्यक्रम के हमारे निवेदन पर पधारे मुख्य अतिथि के तौर पर हिज ग्रेस अमोघ लीलादास जी, मैं व्यक्तिगत तौर पर भी और इस संस्थान महाराज अग्रसेन इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ मैनेजमेंट स्टडीज और हम सब संस्थाओं की जो पेरेंट संस्था है महाराज अग्रसेन टेक्निकल एजुकेशन सोसाइटी की तरफ से आपका और सबका स्वागत करता हूँ। मुझसे पहले हमारे महाराज अग्रसेन टेक्निकल एजुकेशन सोसाइटी के जॉइंट जनरल सेक्रेटरी श्री मोहन गर्ग जी भी स्वागत कर चुके हैं, और हमारे महाराज अग्रसेन इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ मैनेजमेंट स्टडीज के डायरेक्टर जनरल प्रोफेसर एस.के. गर्ग जी। मैं भी इस संस्थान के डायरेक्टर के नाते अपनी पूरी टीम के साथ आपका व्याख्यान, आपके विचार इस बड़े मुश्किल टाइम में सुनने के लिए, और मेरे साथ सभी फैकल्टी, स्टाफ और स्टूडेंट्स भी जुड़े हुए हैं। हमारे लिए बड़ी खुशी की बात है कि आज आप हमारे बीच में, लेकिन इस ऑनलाइन प्लेटफॉर्म पर हैं। हम बड़ा खुशी महसूस करते और आगे करेंगे भी जब आपका खुद जो दर्शन भी हम व्यक्तिगत तौर पे कर पाएंगे, जब हम आपको अगली बार अपने संस्थान में हम आपको आमंत्रित करेंगे और अपने आप को खुशनसीब समझेंगे कि आपका व्याख्यान भी सुन सके। वैसे तो हम आपको सुनने का बड़ा उत्सुक है, बट सिर्फ मैं 2 मिनट का समय लेते हुए अपने इस संस्थान के बारे में आपको परिचय देना चाहूँगा। हमारा ये जो संस्थान है महाराज अग्रसेन इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ मैनेजमेंट स्टडीज है, जिसमें 6 कोर्सेज चलते हैं। इसके साथ ही हमारा एक इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज है महाराज अग्रसेन इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी। ये दोनों संस्थान हमारे दिल्ली में सेक्टर 22 रोहिणी में 9 एकड़ के कैंपस में बने हुए हैं। इसके अलावा सेक्टर 22 में ही एक महाराज अग्रसेन ग्लोबल स्कूल है, और एक हिमाचल में महाराज अग्रसेन यूनिवर्सिटी भी हमारी है। और इन चारों संस्थानों को जो चला रही है वो संस्था हमारी है महाराज अग्रसेन टेक्निकल एजुकेशन सोसाइटी, जिसके संस्थापक अध्यक्ष जो हैं डॉक्टर नंद किशोर गर्ग जी हैं। डॉक्टर मोहन गर्ग जी ज्वाइंट जनरल सेक्रेटरी हमारे बीच में हैं ही, और उसके अलावा बहुत दिल्ली के और पूरे देश के 200 से ज्यादा पदाधिकारी हैं, सदस्य हैं, जिन्होंने 1998 में इस महाराज अग्रसेन टेक्निकल एजुकेशन सोसाइटी की स्थापना की, और उसके बैनर में फिर उन्होंने ये 4 संस्थान थे इनको खोला। एक तरह से ये मेट्स महाराज अग्रसेन टेक्निकल एजुकेशन सोसाइटी के माध्यम से हमारा संस्थान ये क्लेम करता है कि हम केजी से लेकर किंडरगार्टन से लेकर और पीएचडी तक की पढ़ाई, यूनिवर्सिटी है तो यूनिवर्सिटी पीएचडी तक की पढ़ाई हम सारी इस शिक्षा का योगदान जो है वो प्रयास कर रहे हैं। हमारे इस पूरे संस्थान में 10,000 से ज्यादा विद्यार्थी जो है वो शिक्षा प्राप्त कर रहे हैं, इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज में, इस मेम्स में, स्कूल में और यूनिवर्सिटी में मिलाकर। और अगर मैं स्टाफ की बात कहूं तो 1,000 से ज्यादा परिवार स्टाफ के तौर पर टीचिंग और नॉन टीचिंग जो है वो इस पूरे चारों संस्थान में महाराज अग्रसेन टेक्निकल एजुकेशन सोसाइटी में जुड़े हुए हैं। इसमें इस हमारे मेंस जो संस्थान जो जिससे ज्यादा तौर पे आज जुड़े हैं हम, और हम ये सारा कार्यक्रम आज कर पा रहे हैं और पहले भी किया है। जैसे श्री मोहन गर्ग जी ने बताया कि मेट्स वॉरियर क्लब भी एक अभी तुरंत बनाया गया है। हालांकि समाज सेवा के सभी कार्यों में हमारा संस्थान हमेशा से योगदान देता रहा है, इसको इस चीज का परिचय देने की आवश्यकता नहीं है शिक्षा के अलावा, लेकिन मेट्स वॉरियर क्लब को एक और आज के समय की जरूरत को महसूस करते हुए इसको बनाया गया, और आगे भी इसमें कार्यक्रम करते रहेंगे। तो ये मेरी तरफ से हमारे संस्थान का परिचय आपको मैं आपके समक्ष रखना चाह रहा था। अगर कोर्स की बात बताऊं तो हमारे इस महाराज अग्रसेन इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ स्टडीज में हमारे बीबीए, बीकॉम, इकोनॉमिक्स, जर्नलिज्म और लॉ के कोर्सेज चलते हैं, जिसमें 2600 के करीब हमारे विद्यार्थी जो हैं आज की डेट में एडमिशन लेके शिक्षा प्राप्त कर रहे हैं। और हम ये बात बड़े गर्व से भी कह देते हैं कि दिल्ली में हमारे दोनों संस्थान, महाराजा अग्रसेन इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज भी और जो मेम्स हमारा ये संस्थान है, दोनों जो हैं हमारे सभी विद्यार्थियों की जो कि इंद्रप्रस्थ यूनिवर्सिटी से जुड़े हुए हैं, उनकी पहली चॉइस रहती है कि, और हम भी उसी उन सभी विद्यार्थियों के उन उद्देश्यों को पूरा करने के लिए और उनको शिक्षा के साथ साथ उनके पूरे सर्वांगीण विकास के लिए इस तरह के कार्यक्रम भी और भी सभी कार्यक्रम करते हैं। और इसके लिए हम अपने आप को भाग्यशाली समझते हैं कि आप हमारे निवेदन पर इस तरह आए। और मैं विश्वास करता हूँ, हर तरह से विश्वास करता हूँ कि आपके इस व्याख्यान के बाद हम सभी बहुत ही लाभान्वित होंगे और भविष्य में भी हम आपको बार बार आपसे इस सहयोग की उम्मीद भी करेंगे और आपसे निवेदन भी करते रहेंगे। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद दोबारा आपका आने का, स्वागत तहे दिल से। श्री कृष्ण।
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your kind words. Small steps in the right direction can turn out to be the biggest step of your life. With this quote, I would like to welcome our speaker for the day, His Grace Amog Leela Prabhuji. Sir is the Vice President of ISKCON Dwarka. He has done his BTech in Computer Science from Delhi University. He has been the co-faculty at IIM Ahmedabad for teaching Principle, Ethics and Morality in Leadership. Sir is the Director of ISKCON Youth Forum, Dwarka, for uplifting character amongst youth. He has delivered weekly sessions at NSIT and DTU. He is also the co-director and corporate trainer for We Serve, a spiritual corporate training wing. He has delivered sessions on stress management, anger management, and conflict management in companies like Max New York Life, Imami, Nestle, Maruti, etc. He is the content writer for spiritual syllabus for practical implementation of spirituality in modern times for Hare Krishna devotees in Delhi NCR. He has also been the co-director and script writer for Vaikuntha Players, a spiritual drama group. Not only this, he is a lifestyle coach for families, corporate, youth, and children, and has preached by his very living discourses and YouTube videos. So once again, I welcome you, sir, and request you to please address the participants. Over to you, sir.
Hare Krishna, thank you very much, Shalini. And I'm very grateful to the organizers and also the leaders of the organization, the heads, the in charge of the organization, who have given me a chance to be amongst all of you to present a very important, a very relevant topic, COVID-19 pandemic, seeing the bright side and the dark side. So usually dark side is so bold, so vast, and it's so blinding and so hypnotizing that often we are not able to see the bright side associated with the dark side. So hopefully by the grace of the Supreme Lord, I'll try to shed some light on this relevant topic. Hare Krishna. I'll just offer some prayers and then we'll begin. Om Agyan Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunvitamina Tasmai Shri Gurube Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhupada Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Paula Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Rama. So from past around 1 year and 3 or 4 months or so, we have all been experiencing a unique phase in our life, which we would remember always in our lives in the future, and which is this period, where we are struggling with this COVID-19 pandemic. And we see that in all the epidemics, in fact, if there is an epidemic, then in a certain area, the disease is there affecting the people. But in case there is something which is affecting the entire globe, then it is known as pandemic. So pandemic is a heightened version of epidemic. So here we are experiencing a pandemic, the COVID-19 virus, actually. And virus in itself is very inconceivable because it shows symptoms of living as well as non-living. As soon as, till the time there is no host, it is non-living. And as soon as it finds a host, it starts behaving like living. So virus is quite incomprehensible, it's quite inconceivable. Often people ask about God, why we can't understand God? Well, we can't even understand a small creation, the coronavirus, what to speak of God. So that is, a coronavirus has been a difficult time, but yes, as all kinds of time they pass, so this time would also pass. Like once he was a king, he asked his ministers that give me something after seeing what, if I'm happy, I should become sad. If I'm sad, I should become happy. So one of the chief ministers, he gave one ring to the king. And on this ring, it was mentioned, it was written, this time shall pass. This time shall pass. So when he's happy and would look at the ring, would feel sad. Oh, this time shall pass. And when he's sad and he would look at the ring, he would be happy. Oh, this time shall pass. So just like good times also, they pass. Similarly, bad times also, they pass. They're not there for eternity. So everything is temporary in this world. Whether good times, they're also temporary. And bad times, they're also temporary. Both are temporary. Excuse me. Everyone is on mute. Yeah, I could hear something in between. Okay, all right. So everything is temporary. So that phase, even this is also a temporary phase. So this shall pass. So it is temporary phase. So there's a first ray of hope that it's a temporary phase. Of course, there are people who are saying that now India would never be able to become free from COVID because now it is in air. Now, just like there is oxygen in the air, there is nitrogen in the air. Similarly, now there is COVID in the air. And now India is stuck in COVID. Of course, there are things where there are bad times, but they also pass. So no doubt this COVID-19 has given us some difficult time as well. Like so many people, they have lost their lives. Lakhs and lakhs of people, they have lost their lives. There has been economical slowdown all across the globe. So that phase, we can certainly say that it is a tough time for humanity. And who would get COVID-19? Who would get affected by COVID? There is no logic. There are people who are working in marketplace from past 1.5 years, and none of them is getting affected. Many of them, actually, men, 99.9%. And there are people who are hiding inside their homes, quarantine, pre-quarantine, quarantine. They are quarantine, super duper quarantine, but they just once opened the door just for something, and then all entire family became affected. In fact, I know entire society is affected by with COVID. And the society next to the society, not even a single case. And on this side also the society, there is not even a single case. But in this society, all people are having COVID. This is quite inconceivable actually. So somewhere I would say that COVID infection is beyond logic. There is no logic to it. There are many people I know that they wear masks and they use sanitizers as well, but yet they got COVID. And there are people who do not use it yet. They are not getting COVID. Although I'm not professing that we should not take precautions. We should take all precautions. Emphatically, repeatedly, I say that we must take all precautions. But it does not mean, at the same point, we will see that COVID has got no logic. It can affect anyone. I've seen old people recovering and young people leaving their bodies. No logic. So somewhere which is incomprehensible, which is inconceivable, which is beyond the boundaries of logic. But of course, we should take all precautions. So during this COVID-19, we are facing difficult time, and of course there are so many reports, so many videos, in fact, in jokes as well. India is the only country which has made maximum number of jokes about a pandemic. This is really another inconceivable part of Indian culture, that people are so cool as well, although it's a difficult time. So what's the bright side to this dark side, which is the topic today? What's the bright side to it? Well, first thing is that overall death rate has reduced to 27%. I repeat, as per Outlook magazine, the overall death rate during COVID-19 pandemic, because of lockdown, because of various restrictions, we have seen that there is reduced in death rate, 27%. Because from the other sources, the deaths were happening, like, for example, say road accidents, or say malaria, or say cancer. These things have drastically reduced actually. Whatever deaths are happening, they are happening because of COVID. But other sources of death, they're not happening actually, because people are now restricted to their homes, and they are eating healthy. They're not eating junk food. So that's very good. That's very good. So death rate overall has reduced. And people have become healthier than before. Like nowadays, people are spending time at their home, so they have time to exercise as well. Otherwise, I would take 1.5 hours to travel to my workplace and 1.5 hours coming back from workplace. Oh my God, 3 hours of just traveling. But now, that's not there. I'm at home. So now people are getting time to do some exercise as well. So that way their health has improved. Overall death rate has also reduced. Reason being there are no road accidents, because on the roads there is no one. There's no one. In fact, many of the institutions, they decided that we were spending so much money for the infrastructure, but now but everything is happening. Work from home, it's happening. So that phase, many of the economically also it has proved to be good overall. And we see that people have become vegetarian. All across the globe, millions and millions of people, they became vegetarian. Why? Because they came to know that the origin of this COVID-19 virus is a bad from Wuhan, which is in China. And Wuhan is the biggest meat market. It has the biggest meat market in China. COVID-19. And that's the origin of the COVID-19. So that means we should not take meat. In fact, Jinping, who is the leader of the Chinese government, he said, I request all the Chinese people to become vegetarian. Wow, that's good. Those people who could eat anything which is flying, those people who could eat anything which is walking or crawling, anything which is swimming, they eat. They can eat anything. Such people, they have taken to vegetarianism. Not just in China, all across the globe, millions and millions of people have taken to vegetarianism. Of course, it's an act of non-violence. It's an act of compassion towards all living beings. So that way it is good. And of course, vegetarian food is healthier and it makes us more sattvic as well. When I was working in USA, one of my colleagues, Carrie Morris, she was a chronic meat eater. And once her daughter fell ill, and she knew that I'm a spiritual person. At that time, I was working there as software engineer with her, and she was my partner. And she said, well, my daughter, she's not recovering. Would you pray to God for my daughter? I said, of course, Carrie, I'll pray for your daughter. But on one condition, you have to give up that which is your favorite. She said, what is my favorite? Well, my favorite is meat. I said, if you give up meat eating, I'll pray for your daughter. She said, all right. So I prayed to God, and by God's grace, within 2 days, she recovered, and the daughter was hale and hearty. She was absolutely fine. And she was very happy. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Your prayers worked. My daughter is absolutely fine. Thank you so much. So grateful to you. I said, all right. All good is to God. Nothing to my credit. But you promised that you'll give up that which is your favorite. She said, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah. I remember that. Okay, all right. Since it was for my daughter, so I promised that going forward, I will not eat meat. I'll be pure vegetarian. So every day she would bring salads and all that, whatever, they have vegetarian food in their menu. So she would eat that. And after 15, 20 days, she shared with me, she said, actually, I have become far more calm mentally. I could not recognize that what's the reason of this unknown subtle restlessness at the back of the mind. Since the time I've taken to vegetarianism, I've become more calm and composed. Now, through my daughter, since she fell ill, and now God blessed her with good health, and that's why I could give up this meat eating, but I never knew that I would be so much benefited by taking to vegetarianism. Oh, that's very good. So one more benefit of COVID-19 is that all across the globe, people have taken to vegetarianism. All those who are eating cow, pigs, and whatnot. So that is brutality as a whole has reduced, which is also very nice. We have seen that even divorce rate has also reduced because earlier divorces were happening. And there has been a downfall in divorce rate more than 15.75%. Why? Because now people are spending time with each other. Otherwise, earlier, husband is working in his office, the wife is working in her office, and both of them are not spending time with each other. And she's having her extramarital affair in her office, and he's having his extramarital in his office. And that's why there were so many divorces happening because of the fidelity issues. Nice. So divorce rate has also gone down. People have become more spiritual during this time. Yes, we could see that during the time of wave one, people, they were watching the spiritual serials, like the epic serials like say, Mahabharata and Ramayana, and it had one of the topmost viewership. That's record breaking. Wow, that's wonderful. Because during difficult times, people become more prayerful, more spiritual. They know that the things are beyond our control. Even in Italy, I know in Italy, in France, people threw money outside, that money cannot help, only God can help. So that is, people became very prayerful to God, that, oh Lord, only now you can protect us. Even our medical facilities and our technology is not able to help us. Our money cannot save us. Oh Lord, now you can save us. So people became more prayerful. People became more spiritual as well. So this was also a good thing during COVID-19, that people became more spiritual. That's very nice. And in coming future, you would see that more and more jobs would be coming to India. Because earlier, the manufacturing was there with China, and the communication related jobs were there in India, because Indians are very good in communication. So communication related jobs would come to India and manufacturing to China. Now, since China has lost its credibility all across the globe, that from China, anything which comes can have association of COVID. Maybe something is sticking onto it. So that's why it is not reliable to bring anything from China. Okay. So now what's is there any other country which has got good population, intelligent population apart from China? Well, there is one country next to China, that is India. So now many of the more than 1,000 companies have already decided to shift their plants from China to India, which is also very good. So that is in coming future, the jobs would also increase in India, especially jobs related to the web. That means internet technology would also increase. Now, since everything has come to web, education, e-commerce, e-business, everything has become E. So crimes will also happen on E. Theft will also happen on E. That means there would be professionals required for e-securities, the web securities, the web technology. So these kind of jobs would also increase now. I asked one of my sister, she is in HR, I know a very, very prestigious organization. So I asked her that, what are the jobs now you are working on? She said, now we are working on the web designers, the web administrators, the web programmers, the web security experts. Currently, we are hiring these kind of men. Wow. So that phase, because of COVID, in coming time, we would see that there would be ample of jobs coming to India. Yes, recently around 11,000 jobs in software industry from Australia, instead of going to China, came to India. So in this way, jobs would also increase during this time. And we see that people have become less passionate. You know, when people are very passionate, they're very restless, very chaotic. But during this time, we were forced to be sattvic. We were forced to. People taking junk food now, no more junk food. Now have rajma chawal at home. Have your dal and roti at home, cooked by your lovely wife. And sometimes husband as well, where you are at home, my dear. Sometimes you should also cook. So that phase, now since they are having healthier food, and that's also very good. People have become sattvic. They're forced to become sattvic. Of course, there are people who have taken to drinking and all that because I've got nothing to do. So let me drink and lay down. So some people have also taken to tamas, tamasic, drinking wine and all that. But many people have taken to sattvic way of life. And that's also very nice. So that's why we can see that there are many bright aspects also during the time this COVID-19. Yeah. In fact, we can learn a lot from Hanumanji from his journey towards Lanka. When he flew to Lanka, in between he faced many obstacles. And so we can also learn from these obstacles how to deal with this obstacle of COVID-19, how to deal with it. Like Hanumanji, when he was about to fly towards Lanka, before that, he was an indecision, what to do, what not to do. And that time, Jamanji, who is incarnation of Brahmaji, he said, Hanuman, you are such a great servant of Ram. And what is difficult for a servant of the Lord? What is this ocean? You can even cross the ocean of birth and death. What to speak of this insignificant ocean, this Indian Ocean? Come on, yes, you can do that. What's impossible for you? In service of Ram, you can do anything. So words of encouragement as they came from Jamanji to Hanuman. Hanumanji was back in form. He said, yes, of course, what's impossible for me? I can do it. So how to cross this ocean of this COVID-19 as well? First is words of encouragement. I can see on internet, on television, so much of negative data. So many thousand people died. So many hundreds of people more admitted. Negative data. We are hearing so much of negative data all around that it has glamorized COVID-19 so much actually. I would say, of course, there are lakhs of people who have died with cancer, lakhs and lakhs of people with other diseases, other ailments, but none has been glamorized as much as COVID. Worldometer, entire website has been dedicated. Oh my God. But we see that because we go through all these negative data, so people who are not able to handle the negative data, they become so much negative. So much negative. Absolutely hopeless because there is no word of encouragement. Well, this shall pass. This shall pass, yes. Wave 1 actually is intense. Wave 2 is much more intense than wave 1 in any pandemic actually. And wave 3, when it comes, it is even milder than wave 1. Why? Because by the time wave 2 is over, people have developed herd immunity. Now, it's a masterpiece of God, actually, our body, that when there is a certain ailment, our body develops antibodies, and after some time, we develop herd immunity. So this wave 2 may go on, say May, June, and then July, and then settle down as well in August, September. It would settle down actually. And then wave 3 would also come because in any pandemic, there comes 3 waves. Wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. Wave 2 is most intense. Wave 1 is second, and wave 3 is super duper ineffective actually. Why? Reason being, people have developed herd immunity. But nobody's talking about that. Nobody's talking about that. So here Hanumanji, first he gathered the courage to cross the ocean by the words of encouragement from Jamanji. Yes. So that's how we should encourage as well each other that yes, of course, wave 2 is just like wave 1 passed, it settled. So wave 2 has come. This would also settle. Yes, it would. It is not that it is going to be there forever with us. No. Even Spanish flu around 100 years ago when it came, wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. It had 3 waves. And that time people also thought, well, now the Spanish flu has come. Now we are stuck. It's a deadlock. It's a deadlock. No, it was not deadlock. Wave 2 also passed, which was most intense. And then wave 3 would also come in the month of September, October, November. But people would have developed herd immunity. So first thing is words of encouragement. So after that, then Hanumanji, he just joined his hands. Yes. And then he jumped towards Lanka. And as he jumped, so all the trees, the herbs and shrubs, they came out of that mountain. The minerals, they came out of the mountain as he jumped from that mountain. Similarly, we should also be enthusiastic even though it's a negative time. But we should not take the negativity inside the mind because mind is already having so much of negativity. So we should stop the supply of negativity. And we should become more prayerful. At that time, Hanumanji, he prayed to Lord Ram. And that was his posture before he jumped. It was not like this. It was like this. So prayers, we should become more prayerful. Prayer should not be used as emergency wheel. Prayers should be used as the steering wheel. Not that when we need, then we will fold our hands and we become prayerful. No, it's not like that. We should be prayerful always. Always, actually. So it should be the steering wheel, not the emergency wheel. So you should always be prayerful. When you are prayerful, you become more graceful. So that case, we should offer prayer. Just like Hanumanji, before starting his flight towards Lanka, before his jump, he prayed to Sri Ram. He prayed to the Lord. In fact, in Ramcharitmanas, there comes one verse which mentions that how in Kali Yuga would come one disease which have its origin in the bats in Chamgadar. But the solution would be Sanyam and chanting the names of God. Because when the earning goes low, the learning should go high. I repeat, when the earning goes low, because currently earning has gone low, so learning should go high. So at that time, we should become more prayerful and then become more attached to God. That helps us stabilize ourselves, actually. That happens. Now, as he flew towards Lanka, the first obstacle which came on the path of Hanumanji was a mountain, a golden mountain known as Mainak. Now, this golden mountain, as it emerged, because it had wings. Earlier, the mountains used to have wings. Now, anytime they would land anywhere, so people would die, being crushed under the mountains. So that's why Indra cut all the wings of the mountains. But this Mainak, this mountain was hid inside the ocean by Pavandev. Now here comes the son of Pavandev, Hanumanji. So Mainak came out. Hey, Hanuman, this is Mainak. Your father saved me from the wrath of Indra. So I want to serve you. Can you please take rest on me? Just take a power nap and then fly towards Lanka. And Hanumanji said, no, I'm to go. He said, well, at least take some power nap. He said, no power nap. I have to fly towards Lanka because I got service. So that's why I can't take rest. He said, please, at least some. And then Hanumanji just touched it and then flew towards Lanka. So the first lesson to learn is that whenever there is a time, when there is a time or there is a phase in life, when we have ample of opportunities, at that time, we should not just be taking rest. Hanumanji could also take rest for a while, at least 1 or 2 hours, and then fly towards Lanka. But he chose that I should know this is a time for working on myself. When we are not able to work outside, so we should work inside. When we are not able to work outside, then I should work inside. That's very important. And since this is a time of the COVID-19 where we are not able to do anything outside, so we should work inside actually. We should work on self-growth. We should groom ourselves. That's so very important actually. Like there was once a person, God came to this person. He said, can you see this big, huge piece of stone? He said, yeah, this is a huge piece of stone. He said, just keep pushing it. He said, what? God said, I'm giving you a project. Keep pushing it. All right. He kept pushing. So 1 month passed. So after 1 month, the illusory energy of God, Maya Shakti, she came. She said, you fool number one. What kind of project God has given to you? Pushing a stone. Could you even push it even 1 inch of a distance? You couldn't even budget even an inch of a distance, you fool. Just resign from this project, man. Just resign. He said, yeah, Maya, you are right. I could not do anything. Let me call God and then say that I'm resigning from this. I could not do anything, Baba. I could not even budge this even an inch of a distance. So he called God. He said, God, actually, I'm resigning from this. I could not move this stone even an inch of a distance. So what's the use? So I'm resigning. God said, but I never asked you to move from one place to another place. What did I tell you? I told you, just keep pushing. Right? He said, yeah. He said, but yeah, I pushed it for 1 month, but nothing happened, Nothing happened. He said, well, I never asked you to move it from one place to another place. And you said, nothing happened? He said, yeah, of course, nothing happened. Just see the stone is there. Nothing happened. And then God said, okay, take off your shirt. And as he took off his shirt, there were biceps and triceps and six-pack and this and that. Oh, wow. Could see. Well, wow, this is nice. So God said, you said nothing is happening. Well, just see, a lot has happened. So sometimes externally achievements are not coming in our lives because everything has come to a stagnant point. But that's the time we should work on our own selves. We should make ourselves more stronger within. We should read more. Yeah, like many of my friends, they have completed the entire reading of Srimad Bhagavad Gita 3 times, 4 times, or say they are reading Holy Scriptures like Srimad Bhagavatam 2 times. They are doing, and they are feeling so nourished. I said, well, we never thought that we would get a time to read scriptures. Now we are reading them and feeling so nourished. We never thought that our culture is so rich. Wow, thanks to COVID. Well, that's the time of internal development. Yes. So that phase, we should go for learning. I know, well, in like during COVID time, from past one year or 15 or one year or say few months or so, almost every day I give 3 to 4, 5 lectures every day. Sometimes in some corporate institutions, sometimes in some college, with some families and all that. Why is this happening? Because people are now learning. I've got nothing to do. Let's hear something more meaningful. Why not? So that phase, Hanumanji did not choose to rest on Mayana. He took it, he was so focused in his service that he moved ahead. So similarly, this COVID time is there. So we should actually groom ourselves to work on ourselves with more enthusiasm, with more determination, that this time may not come in future, because then again we would come to our cyclic way of life, our mechanistic way of life. So you have to get up early in the morning, take bath and have breakfast and go to the college or go to the office, work in, coming back, there is traffic, and then reaching home, watching some movie or some chit chat and dinner and sleep, and got even in the morning, then taking bath and then breakfast. So again, that cyclic way of life would come. So this time has come, which is very special, that we can work on our own selves. That's really great. So as he was flying, Hanumanji, so next obstacle came was a Rakshasi, a demoness. Her name was Sursa. So Sursa, she said, well, I'm blessed by Brahmaji that anyone who passes this way, he has to enter my mouth. So you have to enter my mouth now. Hanumanji said, oh, excuse me, I'll not do that. So Hanumanji increased his size. And the Sursa opened her mouth even more. And then Hanumanji increased his size even more. And then Sursa also opened her mouth even more. And this was happening. Hanumanji more and then Sursa more, then Hanumanji more and then Sursa more. This was what was happening. Finally, Hanumanji immediately reduced his size, entered the mouth of Sursa and then came out. He said, well, Sursa, you had the valediction that whosoever passes this way has to enter your mouth. I have entered your mouth. And then I came out as well. So I think I've done my thing. Now you should allow me to go ahead. Sursa was very happy. Sursa said, you are very intelligent. You're very intelligent. Actually, when there is a difficult time, at that time, we should, instead of showing that how big I am, it is a humility which we should carry to tackle the obstacles in life, tackle the difficulties in life. Humility. Humility is a hallmark of a person who has wisdom. I repeat, humility is a quality which is a hallmark of a person who has wisdom. And sometimes we are to show humility. Let's accept that yes, it is one of the powers of nature which we cannot combat. We are fighting our level best, but actually it's a very difficult battle. Of course, nature could also see that these human beings, I have been supplying so much to them. I have been serving them since so long, but they are polluting me, and just they keep polluting me. So what should I do? Well, I have to do something to purify me. I have to rejuvenate myself. So Mother Nature found a way to rejuvenate herself, and that was COVID-19. Like sometimes in a gadget, when the gadget gets stuck, so we have got a reset button. And when we press the reset button, so everything has come to factory default setting. So when nature was also so much polluted, the air is polluted, the water is polluted, the land is polluted, so much pollution happening. And then nature is saying, well, excuse me, guys, I have been serving you, please do something. But we are lost in our everyday activities. Well, who has time? I'm so busy. I'm so busy. So people don't have any time. All right, Mother Nature said, I've got a button to press to make the nature come back to factory default setting. And the name of that button was COVID-19. So Mother Nature pressed that button, and then, well, nature has become cleansed. Now, I saw one photograph from Jalandhar. Somebody took a photograph on the rooftop. They could see Himalayas. From Jalandhar, from Punjab, they could never see Himalayas because of the air was so polluted. But now from Jalandhar, they can see Himalayas because the air is clean. Wow, nice. I saw one photograph of Har Ki Pauri in Haridwar, and Mother Ganges is as clean as glass. We could see the bottom. Yes, we could see the bottom. In that photograph, we could see the bottom because the water is now crystal clear. Because this deadly species known as the human beings are no more there in Haridwar, Har Ki Pauri. So water has become cleansed. The air has been cleansed. Wow. So at that time, so we should see that Mother Nature is very powerful. So we at this time should become humble. And those who are humble, they are able to pass through the time of crisis very well. Once Ocean asked Ganges, he said, well, Ganges, sometimes you will bring big trees in your waves when you enter me. But I do not see, there are grasses also on your sides. But you never bring grasses. Why is that so? And then Mother Ganges said, well, Ocean, my flow is very intense. And since my flow is very intense, so all the trees which come in between, I uproot them sometimes and bring along with me. But the grass bows down. So I pass over the grass, and as my flow is over, and then again the grass is up. So because the grass is humble, this is humility. So sometimes we have to be humble and accept that, yes, even though we have technological advancement, but yet we all have got limitations as well. So humility, that's also required. Like during the time of the Pandavas when they were fighting, so Ashwatthama, when he came to know that his father has been killed, Dronacharya has been killed, he became very angry. And then he released Narayan Astra on the Pandavas. Today, the war would be over, finished. So he released Narayan Astra. Narayan Astra is the most powerful weapon. And the only way to save oneself is to bow down before Narayan Astra. Sir, galti hogi sahab, galti hogi sir. Hum aapki sharan mein hain. We are under your shelter, so please, sir, please spare us, sir. Sorry, sir. That's the only way to save oneself from Narayan Astra. Nothing can fight Narayan Astra. Any weapon which is shot against Narayan Astra goes and joins Narayan Astra, but cannot fight with Narayan Astra. So as Narayan Astra was approaching the Pandavas' army, so Lord Krishna said, everyone bow down, bow down. So everyone bowed down. But Bhim said, bow down? How can I bow down? Never! And then this Narayan Astra was moving towards Bhimsen with all of its might. And Hanuman, and then Lord Krishna said, he said, Bhim, bow down. He said, no, never. And then Lord Krishna, he jumped and then put his hand on the ground, making him forcefully bow down. And then Narayan Astra forgave the Pandavas' army. So this is the act of humility. Sometimes when there are difficulties in life, you have to become humble. Because humility is the real nature of the soul. And more we are near the nature of the soul, we would be happy. We will be more tranquil like that. So now Hanumanji flew further. Now came another demoness. Her name was Singika. Singika was a demoness. As Hanumanji was moving, she caught hold of the shadow of Hanumanji. And Hanumanji could not move. He could not move. So what's wrong with me? I was flying seamlessly. How can something stop me? What is that? And then he saw that there is demoness known as Singika. She is catching hold of Hanumanji. And then Hanumanji actually got inside her mouth, entered the heart, pierced the heart, and then came out and then continued his journey. So what does this Singika represent? Singika represents our becoming still. Our becoming still. So at that time, the negativity, it makes us still. Because now life is hopeless. No, what's the future? We have lost our jobs. Is that so? People become still in their head. People become dull-headed. So he entered the heart of Singika, pierced her heart, and then came out of her being, and then continued the journey. So sometimes you have to enter it and pierce it with confidence. That yes, we have a hope. Why not? Why not? So that phase, sometimes we have to enter the negativity, face the negativity, and pierce it and move on. Like one of my friends, he's a chartered accountant. He lost his job, and he tried everywhere, but now no more jobs available because there is an economical slowdown. So he was not getting job. So he started now teaching accountancy online. Now there are students here. They're also learning online accountancy and mathematics from him, and he is earning more than what he was earning as a chartered accountant. He's teaching online. He's making nice videos and he's uploading them and he's teaching them concepts very nicely with his experience in a company. Wow. So that phase, we are to pierce the negativity and go towards the positivity. That actually, it is bringing stillness in me. Well, just pierce it, man. Just move on. So when he reached Lanka, so there is another demoness. Her name was Lankini. And she was protecting deity of the Lanka. And she said, well, who are you? You monkey? I said, excuse me. I'm just a small monkey. I'm just roaming around. She said, well, this is a place of Trilokeshwar, Ravan. I said, well, Trilokeshwar is not Ravan. Trilokeshwar is the Lord. Sri Hari is the Supreme Lord. She said, what? And then Hanumanji gave her a punch. And Lord, as Hanumanji gave her a punch, and then she realized, and then she recalled that once Brahmaji told her, one day when monkey would come and punch you, from that day, the bad days of Lanka would start. So COVID-19 is also giving us this feeling that this time it is very difficult to pass when this would come to end. Well, at that time, we should have faith in God. Hanumanji expressed this faith in God that yes, it is possible to cross over this time. It is possible. So he expressed that confidence, that conviction in the form of a punch. So of course, we cannot punch the COVID-19 physically, but we can give a punch to COVID-19 by our confidence, by our conviction. That since we have faith in God, God will give us strength and also will help us cross over this difficult time. Yes, it is possible. So that conviction, that inner conviction is so much required, actually. So in this way, we learn from Hanumanji's journey to Lanka that how to tackle this difficult time. And of course, there is bright side. There is bright side, as we discussed prior to Hanumanji's example, that so many good things are also happening. The nature has become purified. Our health has improved. The death rate has reduced 27%. That's wonderful. Our relationships have become better. People have taken to vegetarianism. People have become more spiritual, more prayerful. So that's a bright side of COVID as well. Although we pray that this time should pass as soon as possible. But yeah, at the same time, we should not become very chaotic. We should not become restless and directionless in our heads. No, of course we should not. No, we should not. And of course, there are various ways apart from vaccine. There are other ways as well to increase one's immunity. Like one can use spices. One can have more vegetarian food. One goes for salad, dry fruits like the nuts and all. They carry so much of antioxidants. They increase our immunity. Coconut water. So that all of them, they increase our immunity. Or say some Ayurvedic treatments as well. So there are some Ayurvedic medicines as well. They are there to increase our immunity. So we should be just take care of them, and that's it. We can fight it. So this time shall pass. So with this hope and with these prayers, I'll stop here. So if anybody has any question, you may ask question. You may raise your hand, and then you can ask a question. Yeah. So okay, Kajal has raised her hand first.
I think we can take the question and answer sessions after your talk, sir. Prabhuji?
Yeah, my talk is over now.
Okay, we can proceed. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for your thought-provoking talk on the most important topic, to find happiness in these dark times. And you have very well conveyed the idea of what is the bright side. Like, overall death has been reduced to 27%, and the health of the people has improved, that as we are not eating junk food, we are doing exercises. Economically, overall, we have improved, and the world has turned vegetarian, and brutality as a whole has been reduced. Divorce rate has reduced. So these are the points which Prabhuji has taken the brighter side of it. The people have become more spiritual, and we have the job status have been increased in our country. And also Prabhuji will be keeping this thing in mind, that we have to be most prayerful always. That should be the steering wheel, and it should not be the emergency wheel. So by these words, there are few questions which can be asked. If anybody can ask wants to ask DG sir or director sir any question, if you want to ask, sir.
In fact, the talk was so detailed, so complete in itself. I don't think any doubts are left.
Okay, thank you.
In this time, looking at positivity, positive aspects of life, I think wonderful, wonderful. It deviates you from negative thoughts.
Yes, very true.
Really, thank you, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Suresh.
ये तो मैंने पहले भी कहा कि आपको सुनना बहुत ही सौभाग्यशाली रहेगा, और वो रहा है, ऐसा मैं मानता हूँ। बहुत ही अच्छे तरीके से आपने जो पॉजिटिव एस्पेक्ट बताए हैं, उससे बहुत ही ज़्यादा एक सेटिस्फेक्शन मिला है। पॉजिटिव साइड को देखने का हमारा जो रुख है वो बदलेगा, मेरा भी, हम सबका भी। और बाकी उसके बाद जो आपने बातें कही कि हनुमान जी और महाभारत में श्री कृष्ण जी के इस ज्ञान को जोड़ते हुए जितनी बातें कही, उससे तो मैं बहुत ही ज़्यादा व्यक्तिगत तौर पे मतलब एक खुशी भी महसूस करता हूँ। मैं मैनेजमेंट का स्टूडेंट रहा हूँ अभी भी, तो हम खुद भी इसमें देखते हैं कि प्रिंसिपल ऑफ मैनेजमेंट हम जो पढ़ा रहे हैं आज के टाइम में, और फिर हम जब कभी वापसी अपने शास्त्रों को, महाभारत को, गीता को, रामायण को, या अपने जो वेदों पुराणों को देखते हैं, तो हमें लगता है कि हम आज के टाइम में अपने इस मैनेजमेंट के और इकोनॉमिक्स के स्टडीज को, जिसमें हम अपने फ्रेंच के, यूरोप के या यूके के, कभी एडम स्मिथ को हम इकोनॉमिक्स का फादर बोलते हैं, या हेनरी फ्योल को बोलते हैं कि प्रिंसिपल ऑफ मैनेजमेंट उसने प्रोपाउंड किया है, फादर ऑफ मैनेजमेंट है, या फ्रेडरिक विंसलो टेलर को हम साइंटिफिक मैनेजमेंट का फादर मानते हैं, जबकि ये सारा ज्ञान तो हमारे इन वेदों में, पुराणों में, और आपने जितने अच्छे तरीके से रामायण और महाभारत के इस ज्ञान को जोड़ के सारी बातें बताई, बहुत ही ज्यादा हम खुशी महसूस करते हैं। मैंने मैनेजमेंट का स्टूडेंट होने के नाते आपके इस लेक्चर के 25 पॉइंट के तौर पे मैंने जल्दी से नोट भी कर लिए हैं, और आगे अपने विद्यार्थियों के साथ इसका प्रयोग भी करता रहूंगा। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। बहुत मुझे लगता है कि इसके बाद हमारे को ये ज्ञान और मिलता रहेगा, ये भूख अभी बाकी है, हमें मिलता रहेगा आपका सानिध्य, पर अभी तक के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आपका।
Thank you.
With your due permission, there are 2-3 questions from the student side, which I like to pose before you. What steps as an individual can be taken up by us in order to stay positive and motivated and come out of the vicious circle of the boredom?
Yeah, as you see that actually negativity also comes in our mind because we are connected to the negative sources. And like we see that nowadays people are affected with overthinking. Why there is overthinking? Because people are having over data download. Over data download comes from web series, from internet, from social media platforms, from television, from this and that. And that's why we see that there is so much negativity, because we are connected to the sources of negativity. And there is hardly anyone who speaking about positivity. For positivity, people may watch some movies, but that's not the way to stay positive. Because there is a positive download. There is a story, there is hero, heroine, this, that, but that's the way we are distracting ourselves from negativity, but we are not really curing negativity. So we are to actually connect ourselves to positivity. And I would say spirituality is the best way to become positive. Just by saying, come on, man, be positive. Just be positive, man. Just be positive. That's the very theoretical way of being positive. We are to connect ourselves to genuine spirituality. Like the path of bhakti is most positive, actually. This is timeless and time-tested way of conquering all kinds of negativity. Just like if there is an ink pot and it is filled with ink, and if I get a pipe and then full throttle, if water is there, and if I put this pipe inside the bottle, what will happen? The ink would flow out and water will be in. And gradually all the ink would come out. And at the end, you will see that after maybe one or 2 minutes, there would be just water inside that pot and no more ink. Similarly, in this ink pot, there is so much negativity that is there. Now, this ink, which is of negativity, we are to just push it out with a flush of positivity. So flush of positivity comes by spirituality. Often we ignore spirituality as after retirement business. But believe me, spirituality is not an after retirement business. It has to be part of life. That's why we have got physical needs, we have got intellectual needs, mental needs, social needs, this needs, that need. So in the Maslow's need hierarchy, there is one also need, the need of self-actualization, the spiritual need. That's also there. It's not from spiritual books I'm telling. It's from the management books actually. Maslow mentions that from need hierarchy, there's physical need, mental need, intellectual need, social need, this need, egoistic need. On the top, the gold medal goes to the need of self-actualization, which is often ignored by our culture. And alas, in India, it is happening. India is a land of spirituality. People do not come here to learn, technology. People do not come here to learn fashion. People come to India to learn spirituality. And that's our forte. That's our speciality. But the only country which has ignored their own speciality is India. China is proud of their speciality, which is technology. France is very proud of their speciality, which is perfumes. USA is proud of their speciality, which is baseball. But all across the globe, all countries are proud of their speciality. But the only country which is not proud of their own speciality is India. Ye duniya dulhan 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 ke mathe ki bindiya. Ye mera India is having least pride in their speciality, which is spirituality. So that means we should be the leaders in spirituality, and then everything will follow. Our growth, our scientific growth, our economical growth, everything will follow. India was known as the golden sparrow when it was following the spiritual culture. And since the time we have given up our spiritual culture, well, aapne kahavat suniye na, dhobi ka kutta na ghar ka na ghat ka. We are trying to become Americans, but we can never become Americans. And we have given up our Vedic culture. So we are stuck in between. So that is, we are to revive our spiritual culture, and this way we can take care of our negativity. How can there be cases of depression and anxiety in India? That's very astonishing. That's really astonishing, because we are not following our spiritual culture, where there is no question of negativity, no question at all. Like Reader Digest mentioned in one of the editions that by 2025, India would be the world's #1 country for having maximum number of suicide cases among the teenagers. Now that's a very depressing data. For India, which is the land of spirituality, how can there be so much negativity in the youth? Because, well, we have disassociated ourselves from the gush of positivity, which is spirituality. So in this way, we can deal with it, Ashley.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. We assure you that we will definitely strive towards positivity and we will become the best. So another question, Prabhuji, how to get rid of self-doubt and the fear of failure?
Yeah, first about self-doubt. Doubt, it's the opposite of, it's an acronym of knowledge. When there is knowledge, then there is no doubt. And there is doubt, that means there is lack of knowledge. And somewhere we are to work on this aspect of knowledge as well, to know about the self. People are interested in taking selfies nowadays. There is selfie mania. Well, but before taking selfie, I should know what is self as well. And when we have the knowledge of the self, that when we do, then all doubts are gone. Then we know that what priority are to given to what. Currently, our education system focuses on skill and knowledge as well, but not on values, spiritual values. And that's because that knowledge is not coming. That's why there is self-doubt. I know people who are millionaires, and when I ask them, sir, you are a millionaire, you are a crorepati. But actually to enjoy life, if somebody is left with healthy body to enjoy life, one doesn't need more than 10 to 15 crore rupees. But there are people who are having thousands of crores of rupees. If I ask them, then why are you earning so much? Why? And then they do not have any specific answer. They are blank. So how to earn, they have learned in their schools and universities. But why to earn? This nobody teaches them. And then that's why there is a doubt. ये क्यों करना है? So that phase we see that current education, of course, it is required that we should do that. I am also a computer science engineer. I did my engineering. So we used to read big books in computer science, complete reference, Tata McGraw-Hill, C, C++, Java, Mer Java. We used to study so much. Of course, but you have to do that. But apart from that, we should also have knowledge how to live life. That knowledge is also required. Like during our college days, there used to be one joke. समुंदर जितना सिलेबस है, नदी जितना पढ़ पाते हैं, बाल्टी भर समझ में आता है, गिलास भर लिख पाते हैं, चुल्लू भर नंबर आते हैं, उसमें डूब के मर जाते हैं. So no doubt you have to take this knowledge as well. But apart from that, we should also take spiritual knowledge. And then this doubt, the self-doubt would be removed. So how to counter the doubts? Well, with knowledge. And for that, of course, we welcome people to come and ask questions. Because doubts, they are like the clouds around the sun. When the clouds are mitigated, the sun shines to its full glory. So our faith is actually sun. The faith is covered by clouds of doubts. So we are to take care of these clouds, and then our faith will shine to its full glory. Actually. So self-doubt can be taken care of in this way. Now, second is about how to take care of failures. Well, in failures, Lord Krishna says, Karmanyavadikar se ma phaleshu kadachan. Don't think of the result, whether I would be successful or a failure. Just work on your duty. That's it. Just work on your duty. When you focus on your duty, results would come. ऐसा नहीं कि अगर हम फल की चिंता नहीं करते फल नहीं मिलेगा. नहीं, फल आता है, बल्कि और अच्छा आता है. For example, say somebody just focuses on one's duty and does not think about the results. Hey, his name is Rahul. And there is another person known as Bablu. He thinks whether I'll be successful or a failure, successful or a failure, success, failure, failure, success, success, failure, failure, success. 50% energy spent like this, 50% energy in what is to be done. Who would get better results? Of course, Rahul, because Rahul focuses 100% on one's duty. So when we become dutiful, we become beautiful. Okay. So that phase when, in case you get success, very good. In case there are failures are great teachers in our life. You'll see that all the great teachers in our lives, they have faced failures. So somewhere we should not be fearful of failure, because failure is a great teacher. We learn so much from failures. Actually, success is not a great teacher. Failure is a great teacher. So all the great teachers in this world, they have seen failures. So we should not be fearful. So we should say, either I win or I lose. No, I should say learn. Either I win or I learn. Now this is win-win situation. And then we can confront all the situations in life boldly, fearlessly. That because either I win or I lose. No, or I learn. So either I win or I learn. Either I win or I learn. So it's a win-win situation. Wow. In this way, then we can be more dutiful and be more focused. Yeah. And we can conquer the fear of failures.
Either I win, I learn. Do your karmas and does not think about the result. So we'll be the Rahul, and we will be focusing on our duties. I think Suresh sir wants to ask some question.
Okay. All right. Great.
Okay.
First instance, I would like to thank once again, because for the last 1 month, I have been
Suresh, I could not hear you because maybe for some technical reasons, I could not hear you. Purnimaji, could you hear Suresh?
No, sir, there was some I think, some technical issue from his side only. So I think it will be better in a minute. I could not hear him properly.
So,
yes.
Suresh, can you kind of repeat once again? So,
am I audible?
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
We can hear you.
Yeah, just once again, because during the last 1 month, I have been struggling myself with 17 patients, COVID patients in the immediate family, 4 hospitalizations, and unfortunately 1 demise. It has been a very gloomy month for me. It's just today that since morning, probably the vibes were coming, that I am somewhat slightly cheerful. And after hearing your talk, it has increased the confidence ever much more. I just wanted to say one more thing, that since INSCON has started a center in Deen Dayal Upadhyay College of Dwarka, I'm sure apart from looking after the medical needs of the patients, you will take care of the spiritual needs also.
Yeah, we are doing that.
I have associated with Deen Dayal Upadhyay College for 20 years.
Yes.
I have a lot of attachment with that institution.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that my college has taken up this joint venture with ISKCON for a good cause. So kindly look at the spiritual aspect as well. That's my side.
You'll be glad to know, sir. Actually, we are doing kirtan every day. There are devotees; they are completely covered with this PP suit, which is to protect themselves, and they do kirtan for them. They also bring prasadam, which is offered to the Lord. So all those who are admitted in Deen Dayal Upadhyay, they get prasadam, not just food. They get actually in breakfast and lunch proper food, but that is offered to God. So they are having prasadam. And secondly, there are devotees. They go twice in a day and they do kirtan with them. So all those who are recovering from this COVID, when they hear the holy name, it immediately invigorates them with positivity. That yes, when God is here, when there is Lord Hari, then why worry? So immediately they get this feel. So that's why we are trying to cater to the spiritual needs as well, as you mentioned.
That's great. Thank
you. So Prabhuji, you have to take care of our institute as well now, MAIMS.
All right.
And MAIMS, yes, spiritual, one more question, Prabhuji, one last question. How can we train ourselves and our mind to see the silver lining and positive aspect of different situations that we go through on a daily basis?
Yeah, in order to deal with the mind, firstly, the very first step, which often people fail to do, is that you should not identify yourself with the mind. You are not the mind. You are living with the mind, but you are not the mind, actually. Many times people identify themselves with mind as if they are mind. But actually, we are not mind. We are soul. Soul is living with mind. Soul is living with intelligence. The soul is living with ego. But I'm not ego. I'm not intelligence. And I'm not mind. Once I disassociate myself in identity with mind, then I can take care of the mind. Just like the one who is operating on the patient, the doctor doesn't identify as patient. He says, well, I'm a doctor. I have to work on the patient. So very first thing we are to do is that we should not identify ourselves with the mind. That's very, very important. Just like those who are cooking in kadhai, they stand outside kadhai and then do cooking. If I stand inside kadhai and do cooking, I'll become sabzi. If I'm making a halwa inside kadhai and I'm standing inside kadhai, I'll become halwa actually after some time, right? So I should stand outside the kadhai and then make halwa. Similarly, we should have separate spiritual standpoint to take care of the mind. Then we can take care of the mind. Now, how to take care of the mind? We can take care of the mind by spiritual education. Actually, mind is here. Intelligence should be here. Intelligence should be guiding the mind. That's the way. Okay. When mind is very naughty, very childish, okay, intelligence is very mature, full of knowledge, spiritual knowledge. So intelligence can take care of the mind. But in case the intelligence is weak and it is under the mind, that's very dangerous. Mind asks for something, intelligence would find ways to execute the desires of the mind. That's very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. So we have to bring intelligence from here to here. From here to here. Now, I should now feed intelligence so that intelligence from here comes here. Yeah. So what is the food of intelligence? The food of intelligence is spiritual knowledge, like Srimad Bhagavad Gita. When we get spiritual knowledge, so intelligence being here comes here. And then it can educate the mind. In case there is in the intelligence, there is no food of spiritual knowledge, it would be guided by the mind. The naughty mind, the childish mind, the crazy mind. Yes. So we have to have spiritual education to the intelligence to take care of the mind. That's very important. Secondly, the sound vibration. The mind can be taken care of by sound vibration. It's like when we say some ill words to somebody. You nincompoop, you fool, you dumb, just get lost, man. Somebody speaks like this. These words, they make our mind feel sad, morose. In case somebody says, "Are aap to hamare jigar ka tukda ho. You are my very life." Yes. The roses are red, the sky is blue. Oh, my darling, I love you. Somebody says like this. So these are words. The words, they blossom the mind, right? So that means sound vibration, they make a direct impact on the mind. So divine sound vibration, just like we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So these sound vibrations, they affect the mind. They take away all the negativity in the mind. So we have to expose the mind with divine sound vibrations so that the mind gets uplifted actually. So in this way, we can take care of the mind. That's the way to deal with it.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for addressing our questions with so much of enthusiasm and also motivating us all along the way. We have amongst us Dr. G.P. Govill, Advisor Mates. We welcome you, sir. Sir, any question you want to ask?
पूर्णिमा, मैं कुछ बोलना चाहता हूँ.
हाँ जी sir, definitely. Our Garg sir will want to ask something. Yes, sir.
प्रभु जी,
हाँ जी, please.
आपके सभी साथी दिन के कई घंटे प्रभु की चैंटिंग करते हैं, प्रेयर्स पे लगे रहते हैं. मुझे लगता है कभी कभी आपकी डायरेक्ट भगवान से बात भी हो जाती होगी. इस संकट की घड़ी में कोई स्पेशल मैसेज फ्रॉम लॉर्ड कृष्णा?
Well, special message तो यही है from Lord Shri Krishna, that he says in Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 verse number 14 that these duality of sukh and dukh, okay, of yash and apyash, profit and loss would always be there. That's the nature of this life. So at that time, what we should do? Titikshava. At that time, we should tolerate this. We have to tolerate it. So this is the first advice. And secondly, he says that we should groom ourselves. He says that we should do self-grooming. Like Arjuna did self-grooming. When he was in self-doubt, he did self-grooming by taking shelter of Lord Shri Krishna. So that phase, Lord Krishna gave the divine words and then he was back. In the beginning, he was so confused. So at the end, he said, well, all my confusions are gone. Now I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to do my duties. So we should take words of the Supreme Lord, like Srimad Bhagavad Gita. And in this way, we should uplift ourselves. So during difficult times, as I already mentioned, earning may go low, but then learning should go high. Earning may go low, but learning should go high. So that's it. So this is a time of learning, improving ourselves, increasing our spiritual potential. This time has been, this will act like a blessing upon us in case we behave like that, in case we deal with this time with this right attitude.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mohammed.
इसी से संबंधित प्रभु जी एक क्वेश्चन बड़ा अच्छा आया है कि the student has been doing meditation from the last 1 month. He wants to ask that how do he knows whether he is doing it the right way or not, and do he needs any guru or mentor under whom he should meditate, and if yes, how to choose a particular guru?
Okay, now this question has got various aspects to it. Firstly, how to do meditation, how to choose a guru. Okay, firstly, I'll talk about the guru. Well, we need guru everywhere. Even Milkha Singh, just to have 400 meters of a race, he needed a guru, right? So to fill our belly, we need a guru so that we get right kind of education. So that's why we need guru everywhere, actually. Even to learn A, B, C, D, we required guru. When Guru said, well, the spelling of knife is K-N-I-F-E. So we accepted, oh, I thought it was N-Y-F. Oh, the spelling of knife is K-N-I-F-E. Oh, great. So even to learn A, B, C, D, we need Guru. Even to go to learn a sprinter race of 400 meters, I need Guru. Even to go from one place to another place, I need electronic Guru. GPS is what? It's actually Guru. Going from one place to another place, and in case it says, okay, this is the shortest way you can reach to your destination. In case you get... you take a wrong turn, so it readjusts the path. It reroutes the path to destination. Earlier you were reaching 45 minutes, but now you're reaching in 55 minutes now because you took a wrong turn. So even to reach a certain place, we need Guru. Currently, we are having this electronic version of Guru, which is the smartphone, and in the smartphone we have got the GPS. So everywhere we actually need Guru. So what are the qualifications of a Guru? First quality is that Guru is a person who claims to be servant of God. If any guru says, well, there is no God, or anyone who says, well, I am God and I can make you God, he's a bogus guru. So any guru who's a genuine guru would say, well, I'm just a servant of God. I'm a postman of God. I'm here to take the message of God, deliver it to you, and that's what my job is. So first quality of a guru is that he would say that there is God and I'm a servant of God. Yeah. Second thing is that what he says, he practices also. And what he practices is what he says. So that means usi karni mein aur usi kathni mein antar nahi hota. It is not that he speaks very nicely, he's a great orator, and then after the speech, he's back into his materialistic way of life. He has got his Harley Davidson, he's got his guitar and all that, and no. So what he does, what he says, he does, he practices, and what he practices is what he preaches. So uski preaching mein aur uski activities mein antar nahi hota. Kathni mein aur karni mein antar nahi hota. This is another quality. Third quality is that he should have his senses under control. if a guru is not having his senses under control, would misuse the faith of the people. Like we see nowadays, so many Dera Sacha Sauda and all that. People who are not having their senses under control, they insult the faiths of people by exploiting people physically, emotionally, financially. And that is so tragic, actually. So a guru must have his senses under control, which means he has all of his senses engaged in service to God. So that's the third quality of a bona fide, genuine guru. Another quality is that he should repeat the words of scriptures. He should not have his own Babaji ki pothi. No, he should repeat the words of God. That's also another quality of a bona fide, genuine guru. Yeah. Another is that he has got no other magical formula. He even gives a process of meditation as per the scriptures. So scriptures mention that we should chant the names of God. Nowadays, there are many gurus, they just give breathing exercise, pranayam and all that. And that's good for the body, no doubt. But to say that it is a spiritual thing, well, there's nothing spiritual about breathing. Breathing makes us more sattvic because we become more healthier. But it does not mean that that's spirituality. Spirituality means chanting the names of God. So pranayam is one of the part of Ashtanga Yoga, which people nowadays just do some breathing exercise, just focus on this breathing, inhaling, exhaling and all that. And that's sufficient. That's good for body. And to some extent, mind as well, as the person becomes sattvic. But this is not the ultimate thing. The ultimate meditation is to chant the names of God. That's like in Christianity, it is mentioned, the kingdom of God is recited by those who chant thy name. In Islam, in the Quran, it is mentioned that there are 99 names of Allah. Allahu Akbar, Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim. Nice, and the names of God again. And of course, in Sanatan Dharma, so Hare Ranam, Hare Ranam, Hare Ranam, Eva Kevalam. Kalo, in Kalyuga, Nasteva, Nasteva, Nasteva Gatrina. There is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way, but to chant the names of God, but to chant the names of God, but to chant the names of God, Hari, Hare Ranam, Eva Kevalam. So that's the way of meditation in Kalyuga. Chanting the names of God. That is a process, actually. And these are the qualities of a guru, which I just mentioned.
Thank you so much, Guruji, for highlighting the qualities of a guru and the qualities of meditation. We can proceed with the program. Anybody wants to ask anything? Can we proceed further? Govil sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Proceed with Sonakshi.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, sir, for addressing all our questions with so much enthusiasm and motivating us all along the way. It was an absolute pleasure to have you with us, sir. Now, I would like to introduce Mr. Kanishk Yadav. Sir is an alumni of our college, Maharaja Agrasen Institute of Management Studies. He was a student of BBA batch 2012 to 2015. He was the founder member of the Urban Hoppers Group, MAIMS. Sir is MD at Duroplast Industries and also a MD at Antic Entertainment and choreographer. Currently, Sir is volunteering with Param Chaitanya Foundation, which is based on Sahaj Yoga meditation. It has an independent social wing, namely Sahaj Welfare, dedicated for the welfare of the society in almost every sector. Sir, I invite you to please share with us your words of wisdom.
Yes, Kanishk,
for unmuting me, first of all.
Yes, please start.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for such a wonderful introduction. First of all, I am not sir, I am still a student, and I'll always be a student. And thank you so much, Amok sir, for your wonderful words of inspiration. Thank you so much to the management committee for having me here. With all permissions, I would like to just start with some topic that I feel is currently required for the youth, that is introspection. Majority of youth currently is like just deviated outside, but what we need to do currently is just go inside. For example, हमें बचपन से ही सिखाया गया है that भगवान हमारे अंदर हैं, भगवान हमारे अंदर हैं, श्री कृष्ण हमारे अंदर है, श्री आदि शक्ति हमारे अंदर है, बट अल्टीमेटली व्हाट वी डू इज
तो पहले थे
But ultimately, what we do is we keep on finding them outside. Just like Amok sir said, spirituality is the base of India, is the base of life, actually. If we follow spirituality, we'll definitely find a path. That's my personal opinion and my experience. What we do is we keep on finding outside, but ultimately we have to do is we have to find faith inside us. We have to keep faith on God. We have to be surrendered to the God, to the ultimate divine power. Introspection, basically, I would like to talk about introspection only. Mainly what we have to do is we have to focus on ourselves, not on others. अभी आजकल क्या चल रहा है, अभी मतलब सिंपली जस्ट बाहर सबको देख रहे हैं हम लोग, सब लोग आते हैं, अभी हम लोग एज अ यूथ क्या फेस करते हैं, आंटीज टॉक फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल. तो आंटीज क्या करते हैं, आपस में चुगली चुगली चुगली, सब एक दूसरे को मतलब बताते रहते हैं, ये ऐसा वो ऐसा वो वैसा वो ऐसा. उनके टॉक से हम लोग डाइवर्ट होते हैं डेफिनेटली. दैट इज फर्स्ट थिंग. What we have to do is we have to keep faith on ourselves. What we are doing is right. If we have faith on God, surrender to the God, and He will show you the right path. That's exactly what you have to do. Currently, in the current situation, COVID-19 pandemic has hit us so bad actually. But what exactly we are doing is we are currently focusing on everything that is happening outside. We are focusing on number of deaths, focusing on news, focusing on every single aspect that the news, that outside world is showing us. But where are we focusing on God actually? सिंपल सा एक काम करना है, अपने अंदर झांको, अपने अंदर से ही सब कुछ मिलेगा. अगर अर्जुन ने श्री कृष्ण को नहीं सुना होता, and what would have he done? महाभारत का रिजल्ट ही कुछ और होता. अपना ईगो में, he was the supreme warrior at that time, right? अपने ईगो में अगर उन्होंने श्री कृष्ण को सुना ही नहीं होता, भगवान को ईगो दिखा दिया at the end, तो what would have he done? महाभारत का रिजल्ट ही टोटली अलग होता. एक बार एक इंसिडेंट है महाभारत से दैट आई वुड लाइक टू शेयर. अर्जुन को अपनी सुप्रीम वॉरियर स्किल्स का घमंड हुआ था, राइट? तो व्हाट ही डिड वाज ही चैलेंज्ड श्री हनुमान दैट ही कुड बिल्ड अ ब्रिज ऑफ एरोज विद इन सेकंड्स दैट कुड इजीली टेक श्री राम्स वानर सेना टू श्रीलंका, राइट? What he did was he built a bridge of arrows, but ultimately that bridge of arrows could not even take the weight of Sri Hanuman. That was broken completely. So ultimately that was the time when humility had to arise in him, in his personality. Humbleness is a great topic to talk on, right? Currently what we are doing is हम सबको just कुछ भी बोल देते out of nowhere. I have been a student, I have been there sitting right here in every conference, every motivational speeches. I know exactly what the mentality is, right? But we have to respect the other person. Firstly, सामने वाला बंदा जो भी हमको बता रहे, he has achieved that and we have to respect that first of all. Moreover, श्री कृष्ण की क्वालिटीज पे मैं कुछ बोलना चाहूंगा. श्री कृष्ण की सबसे बड़ी क्वालिटीज थी लव, कंपैशन, कलेक्टिविटी. If we are together in this will pass definitely. अगर हम साथ में नहीं रहेंगे, साथ में एक दूसरे को हेल्प आउट नहीं करेंगे, तो सब बस रायता हो जाएगा, कुछ नहीं होगा. what we have to do is we have to be together. That is the major thing I would like to talk about. And apart from that, what we can do is love and compassion. What we can do is you can just learn from the divine deities we have. India has been a land of gods. We have to learn from the divine deities, their qualities. We have to imbibe them in ourselves. That's the biggest thing. Everything has a practical approach to it. Even spirituality has a practical approach to it. We cannot be just staying out there having blind faith. No. Have a practical approach to it. Why, what, where, when. Ask questions. That is your biggest strength as a young generation. We can just ask questions. Amok sir is here. Just come forward and ask questions. He will guide you. And definitely, if we are together, we can fight this. We have to be together. अभी बाहर कोई भी मर रहा है, अपने को क्या, अपना चलता है, अपने पास पैसा है, अपने पास सब कुछ है, नहीं चलेगा. पैसा किसी की लाइफ नहीं खरीद सकता. आज पैसा है, कल वो भी नहीं रहेगा. लेके क्या जाना है हमें? कुछ भी नहीं लेके जाना है, सब कुछ यहीं पे रह जाएगा. कितना चाहिए होता है हमें? फॉर एग्जाम्पल मेरा अभी मतलब इंट्रोडक्शन में बताया MD at 2 firms, but 80% of my income is just going for the charity work. That is exactly what I'm doing. I have not bought a car yet. I have not bought a separate home yet. It's been almost 7-8 years since I've passed out from college. I started as a choreographer. Then I did event management. Then I joined dad's business. And I have been practicing Sage Yoga meditation since I was 3 years of age. So
sorry to interrupt, Mr. Kanishk. Prabhuji has to leave for some urgent work.
Okay.
We would like to sum up now.
No problem. Okay. Thank you so much.
No, we can continue, Kanishk, Yeah, that's
No, sir, no problem. I'll just wind it up.
Yeah, I got a session in MAT, that's okay, but you can continue.
No problem, sir. No problem. Thank you so much. I'll just wind it up. Thank you.
Please continue, Shalini.
I request everyone to please turn on their cameras. With your due permission, sir, can we take a virtual photograph?
So we want to take a photo with you, so please switch on the cameras, all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. At the end, I would like to invite Professor Dr. Rajni Malhotra Dhingra, Principal, Department of Law, MAIMS. I request ma'am to please deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Vikram. As said by everyone, that we are going through very tough, where it is difficult to keep arm around you. And as teachers, we are not only bound to teach the syllabi that is prescribed by the university, we are duty bound to be in a front, motivate our students, and to take them out from these difficult situations. And that is why it has been taken by Legal Aid 12 of Department of Law, headed by Purnima Gupta. When she came to me and asked, ma'am, the lecture karwana, I was in Delhi, that how much it will be beneficial for our students. And that is why I've taken time also to give the consent. But when the second wave comes and then every teacher was asking the motivation is required because now the students are very depressed and somehow they are not taking classes because they are depressed in a depressed situation. Then I have given the consent. And after hearing you, now I am regretting that why I have taken so much time. The consent must be given much early. Because after listening, the entire doubt has been removed. Because earlier I was thinking कि motivation lecture है, बच्चों को useful होगा नहीं होगा, how much to learn that. thanks to Purnima for organizing this lecture.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
I thank the speaker of the day, His Grace Amog Leela Lasji. Sir has highlighted and shown that for showing us the bright side by telling how people have started taking healthy food, started taking exercises, and has become more spiritual. Sir has shown a ray of hope by telling that in near future, the job is going to increase and giving us the motto that the prayer should not be the emergency wheel, but should be the steering wheel. So sir has highlighted the various aspects by giving the example from Ramayana and Mahabharata that how you can tackle with each and every situation if you are motivated, if you are full with the positive energy. So I request all my students to listen, or you can say the positive, you can say the music or the chanting, at least 15 to 20 minutes a day, so that the all negativity will go step by step. It will take time because there is lot many negativity, and it will take time, right, to purify our mind. You can say the time will be taken, but slowly it will go away. So thank you so much, sir, for taking out time. I know that you are very busy, and then you have now the next session that is in Amity University. But I request that be in touch about that in the near future also, that you will guide our student and even to the teachers also. Thank you so much.
Sure. Thank you so much, Rajni ma'am, for your kind words. Thank you so much. Feel good with you.
I thanks the entire management headed by Dr. Nand Kishore Garg, the founder chair, and I also thank Mohan Kumar Garg, the joint secretary, and the person who has dedicated the life towards society. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for sparing your valuable time. और आपने हमारे इस कार्यक्रम की शोभा बढ़ाई. धन्यवाद. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everyone.
I thanks Professor Dr. S.K. Garg, Director General MAIMS. Sir has told that he is going through very difficult time, but somehow when I asked today, sir, will you be able to join us? I said, yes, I will, because now I'm feeling some positive energy, and maybe the positive energy is because of this session. So some positive energy is you can say that he's feeling, because he was aware that today the speaker will fill the mind of everybody with the positive energy. Thank you so much, sir, for sparing your valuable time and gracing our session. I also thanks Professor G.P. Govil. Sir is also going through very difficult times, and that is why sir said, no, I'm not going to speak. But still he managed to join our program, and I'm sure, sir, by listening this lecture, the entire, I think so, the negative energy or the negative thought that was in your mind will go away, and we will pray that very soon you will come out from this situation. Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you.
I also thank Professor Dr. Ravi Kumar Gupta, Director MAIMS, for the support and for the guidance he has given the entire team to conduct this session. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. I also thank the team headed by Purnima Gupta, and because this is the session that has taken place in collaboration with MAIMS Alumni Association headed by Shilpi Agarwal, and by the other co-convener is Nisha Dhanraj. I thanks each and everybody for making this session a very successful session, and I think so that after this everybody will feel that the morale is high. And I also thanks the HODs of the various departments and the faculty who is dedicated towards the students and is trying to do, you can say that everything that is beneficial for the students. I wholeheartedly thanks the entire faculty of MAIMS and the team who has done this work and to make this session a very successful session. And as in the end, I'm used to say, I'm very thankful to my students, because this session is organized by students. And this time, Dipanita Singh, Ritvik, Shalini Kashyap, Sneha Baghel, and Sunakshi. These are the students who worked for this session and made this session a successful session. I thank everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for coming and gracing us, for blessing us. May Lord bless, Radharani bless us all.
Hare Krishna.
Great. Thank you very
Hare
much,
Hare Krishna.
everyone. Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna.
Thank you, all the leaders.
धन्यवाद प्रभु जी.
Hare Krishna.
धन्यवाद जी.
Have
हरे
a
कृष्ण.